The latest week of hearings into the inquiry into the criminal justice system in the Australian Capital Territory after the aborted Brittany Higgins-Lehrmann trial has brought some even more amazing revelations than we told you about in last week's show. This week, it was the police officer's turn to take the witness stand. Detective Superintendent Scott Moller was the third person to give evidence at the inquiry and the first of the police officers. He was the top cop investigating the Higgins rape claims. He said straight off the bat that police believe there was not sufficient evidence to charge Bruce Lehrmann and raised concerns about the pressure put on investigators to get Lehrmann into court. He said all the officers involved agreed they didn't have enough evidence to lay charges, but said he changed his mind after getting advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions, Shane Drumgold. Drumgold has now stood aside following his evidence last week. You can check out our last episode 206 for more on that. But here's the most important bits from this week. Superintendent Moller told the inquiry that he swore the summons to arrest Lehrmann himself so that officers who did not believe in it did not have to go through with it. I swore the summons because I didn't want to put any of my staff in the position where they had to do something they didn't want to do, that they didn't believe in, so I did it, he said. He also said that they didn't tell Brittany Higgins that they were going to charge Lehrmann when they did because they were worried that she'd tip off the media. And he said investigators were under pressure from the public, media and within the AFP to expedite the process and get Mr. Lehrmann before a court. Later in the week, Detective Moller revealed that he himself was a sexual assault survivor. The revelation came after it was suggested under cross-examination that he might have outdated views towards sex assault complainants. 45 years ago, I was a victim of sexual assault, and I've lived with that for 45 years. And that has driven my desire to work in the police and to work with victims. That has driven my desire and my want to make sure that never happens, that sexual assault never happens to anyone else in the community. And that has been my driving force. The Australian also reports Detective Moller told the inquiry that Brittany Higgins' media strategy made it difficult for investigators because of the perceived interest that Ms. Higgins had in the media. The drive that Ms. Higgins showed to be in the media, he said. In April 2021, Higgins asked for the investigation into her rape claim to be reopened, but refused to provide police a statement ahead of her story being broadcast on the project. And Moller said the investigators' frustrations continued as Ms. Higgins resisted producing her mobile phone for examination. More to come next week. If you enjoyed that content, there's lots more where that came from. The Other Side Australia is back every Tuesday and Friday on ADH TV and all good podcast platforms. It's your weekly short circuit summary of the best news commentary from Australia and abroad. Don't miss it.